It's Crispy Gobbler here, doing a review of Autechre's newest release, Oversteps, which was released, as far as I know, a few days ago. The digital download was released a few days ago. So this is following on from the Quaristice review that I did a few years ago, which almost universally got panned, so hopefully this one will be better. I've tried to make this one a bit more of a review rather than a track by track description of what I'm hearing. So Oversteps, it's the first thing that immediately caught my attention was the fact that it's a lot more atmospheric and there's a lot less beats than Quaristice and a lot of the more recent material. In terms of mood, it sounded more human and more I don't really want to use the word emotional, but it emotes more. It's more of an emotive album, and I think that's the first thing that people are going to immediately get from the release: the fact that it's more relying on melody and it's less percussion based than previous releases like Quaristice. But they seem to have taken a bit of a back step to the melodies and the synth lines in the release, in the album, and the beats are generally more simple than before. They're not so much really complex beats. It's more a case of really beautiful melodies, but less like kind of complicated beats. I would go as far as to say that some of the tracks on this release are actually fucking beautiful. It seems they've really captured or got onto this track of creating more ambient, kind of evocative, atmospheric music than before, which is a good thing. To some of the previous releases, the Quaristice, which was immediately before this, the album immediately before this. So I actually think this is probably one of the best things they've done for a long time. It's certainly superior to Quaristice, and Draft is superior to that, I think. With Draft, I like some of the tracks on it, and some of them, were pretty damn good, like Surapura or something like that it's called, A Theme of Sudden Roundabout, but as an album as a whole, it didn't really work for me. Comparing it to Quaristice had quite a few tracks that worked, sounded impressive, but they ultimately didn't go anywhere. A lot of the tracks were quite short, and there's sometimes it felt like there's a lack of direction in some of the tracks. But this release doesn't really have the same sense of directionlessness that Quaristice had, and gels, for want of a better word, as better as an album. Definitely in terms of the production and the musical territory that the album explores. There's a track on there called Trial, which I think is a particular highlight of the album. It's got a fucking gorgeous bit at the end. organic feeling than Quaristice, which I thought it was better for. Also, just as a aside, I'd quite like to mention the fact that it kind of reminds me of Amber, one of their older albums, just in the way it kind of more about evoking emotions rather than this kind of complex mathematical kind of really complicated beats and gittering complexity.
This is really very